Hello, everybody. I'm Brian,
I'm Brian.
and this is Brian versus Brian, episode 172, Fargo, 1996.
Don't you know?
Eventually, every movie is going to have the year after the movie
Hmm.
because we're getting to a point. It's just everything has multiple versions.
Yeah.
Fargo, of all things, now has a television show. Um, yeah, Fargo, 1996. When is the release date on this little biatch? Here we go. Here we go. March 8th, 1996. Directed by Joel Coen, written by Joel Coen and Ethan Coen. Uh, First time I've seen it. This is my first time. Took a while. I've always heard good things. Um, and now I don't know why.
How dare you?
I don't know why.
How dare you?
I mean, good things is one thing. I'll agree with that. But great things, like shit. This movie was chosen as one of the 100 greatest American films in history,
Mm,
being the most recent film on the list up to that point.
mm.
What? Like, this is great American cinema? I mean, it's a good movie, but I didn't watch this and was like, fuck, what have I been missing out on? You know,
Yeah.
like 100 greatest and the earliest one chosen to that point? That's crazy to me. And it
No,
was
I
like
would agree
chosen
with
for.
that. I don't even think this. I don't. This isn't even my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I think there's better
Yeah,
movies that they've made, to be honest, in my opinion. But yeah, that's shocking that
definitely.
that,
I was just
that one is
watching
on
it
there.
thinking, this is no country.
Yeah.
This is no country. I don't know their other work. Apparently, they had movies before this. I didn't even know that. I thought this was their first one.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and it was also chose for preservation by the United States National Film Registry and the Library of Congress. Um, One of only 7 films designated this distinction in its first year of eligibility. Like, I don't know, man. I didn't think it was that great. It's good. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But it's just kind of, it's very small and kind of just lully. It's got some good banter and, like, I don't know, realistic kind of cool situations that the Coen
Hmm.
brothers usually do, and there's some shock gore and some dark humor. Um, Follows, what the heck is that main character's name? He's got a weird name. Uh,
Oh, William H Macy.
Jerry Lundergaard.
Yeah.
He's a sales manager at some car dealership. He's on hard times, and he comes up with this scheme to have his wife. And it says in the beginning this is a true story. I couldn't find anything on that. Do you know anything about that?
I
Is that
don't
true?
think it is. I think, from what I remember, I mean, don't quote me on this. Maybe somebody in the comments can quote me on this or correct me on this, but I think this whole thing is made up and they just put that in there just to have fun, just to kind of
I hate it when they do that.
be
You
goofy.
can't do
You know what I
that.
mean?
False advertisement.
There may be like some like small truth to it, like someone may have
Yeah,
gotten
I'm
shot,
sure.
but it didn't go down like this, is my understanding.
But yeah, it falls on hard times. He comes up with a scheme to have his wife kidnapped so he can get $40,000. He's going to ask for 80,000. He's going to give the kidnapper dudes 40, and he's going to keep 40 to help him get on his feet or whatever he needs it for. Um, yeah,
I love,
William H
yeah.
Macy.
William H Macy is great. I love how it starts. It just starts right away. Like he just walk. The opening scene is like him going to the bar to meet Steve Buscemi, and he's like, "You're late."
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
So good.
yeah, but there was a misunderstanding. I was told 8:30. Yeah, well it's 7:30. We've been here
Been
for
here
an
an
hour.
hour. He's pissed 3 times.
And who is this? And then this is my associate. It's like, oh, I thought it was only going to be one. It's okay. I trust you. You were vouched for by John Redcorn. Or who's that fucking guy, the Indian guy? He's pretty fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty good
just,
too.
just says very little. Who was with him?
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
like
They said
one word
I can't
answer.
remember his name.
Yeah.
I didn't vouch for him. I don't vouch for him. No, no, I know, but you vouch for the other guy, and that's his friend, so it's fine. That's not the point I was making. The point I was making is I'm trying to get a hold of them. And I guess
God.
Steve was going to be a smaller part, and he actually was campaigning really hard to be in this movie in the bigger role. And I guess he told them, hey, I'm just here so you guys don't make a mistake and cast someone other than me because this is my role. And he's like, this is that's a very dangerous thing to say in Hollywood. He's like,
Yeah.
but I wanted it, so he got it,
Glad he
and
did. He's very good.
yeah, and they won Academy Award for screenplay, I think, and then also Best Actress
Oh,
for the
Frances
lady who
McDormand.
plays the cop. She's pretty damn good. I heard that like, oh, she spent a couple months with a pregnant police officer. She's like actually like researching a. Yeah, I got to get it in the mind of a pregnant police officer.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there. And then they all got the weird. I don't know what is
The
that called.
dialect.
The
Yeah, the
Minnesota
Minnesota
nice
dialect.
accent or whatever they call it.
Oh, geez.
Uh, yeah, where like no one's cursing. It's like, oh, heck. And, yeah. And so they go to kidnap her, and that's pretty funny when Steve is coming up to the house and with the mask and going to the
Yeah.
window and like looking in, and she's just sitting there like sees him,
Just watching him.
but she's in like disbelief until he finally crashes through the window, and then she freaks out
Hmm.
and runs, and they get her. And uh, what did? Oh yeah, the other guy. I can't remember his damn name, man. But the other guy grabs her and she bites his hand, and he just immediately like stops the whole. He's
Yeah.
just
He
concerned about
immediately
his
pulls his
hand.
mask off. He's like, I need
Yeah.
ointment or whatever you want, the
Yeah,
medicine.
I need some bacitracin.
What?
She goes in the bathroom, locks herself in, and apparently gets out the window. And he's like, "Fuck!" Steve runs out the place, tries to get her, and he's just going through the. It was a really funny little things. Like he's going through the medicine cabinet and just kind of knocking everything off the
Yeah,
shelf
aggressively
for
just.
no fucking reason. He gets the ointment and opens it with his mouth. And then he's like staring in the mirror. I was like, what the fuck is he looking at? And then I don't know. He sees the curtain move. She's in there, and then like runs out with the curtains on her. Ah! And she falls down the steps. I thought she was gonna die right then. Like, oh,
Mhm.
let me guess, she killed herself falling down the steps, and here's
Yeah,
a fuck up
the
start. But
plan's
no,
all
she
fucked.
survives
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And then yeah, they're oh yeah, and he gives him that Oldsmobile seat. Like every car in this is like an Oldsmobile almost.
Hmm.
Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra Brown. And then that's another little funny moment when he's like, "Well, I was understood there was to be $40,000." Like, oh no, that's another misunderstanding. See, there's no money up front. There's just the new car. Okay, so you get the new car, and then when it's done, you get $40,000. Uh, no, I think I'm gonna want $40,000. See, I don't have $40,000. That's why we're doing this. So
Yeah.
you get 40,000, I get 40,000, and you get a new car.
I love that too,
Um,
where it's like the first bit of like kind of fun, dry humor where he's like, "See, my wife's husband or my wife's father, he's well off," and they're like, "Why do you need the money?" He's like, "Well, we're not going to get into that. It's personal." He's like, "Why don't you just ask your wife, Jerry?" Yeah, ask your wife, Jerry. It's just like they're like concerned. These bagmen are like concerned about this whole situation. I thought that was pretty funny.
well, the thing is, they don't know I need it, and if they did, they wouldn't give it to me. uh, so then they got her in the car. They're leaving the place where they kidnapped her, and oh yeah, a cop pulls them over. This dumb bastard, uh, Buscemi. He's like, "Oh, I didn't put the tags on the car." And the other guy just staring at him. And I think they have a conversation before that where it's like, "You don't ever say anything, man.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
driving all this way. You're just in silence. I'm going to give you the silent treatment. See how you like it. It's nothing but silence. Just see how you enjoy it, huh? If
Nothing
someone
but
doesn't even
silence.
talk to you." Yeah.
You're just a fountain of a fountain of conversation, a fucking geyser.
And so you get pulled over, and that guy's obviously pissed. No, I love it when he's smoking in the car. Can you roll down the window a little bit? He just
Hmm.
doesn't. It's just like, who smokes in a car with all the windows rolled up, just boxing it? Um, so getting pulled over, and then it's a fucking idiot. Oh, I didn't put the tags on the car. And for some reason, they took her out of the trunk, and now she's like in the back seat, and she's making noise too. Cop pulls like, "Yeah, you don't have tags." Like, "Oh, really? I want to take care of this." Dude, what is he? I didn't understand what was going on at the time, but did you try and bribe him?
Yeah, so when he handed his wallet, or he put his wallet out the window, you saw his ID, but right above it, that $50 bill was sticking out clearly. So yeah, he was just trying to bribe him. We can take care of this right now. I would love to take care of it right now if we could.
I thought he meant just go put the tags on the back of the car
Yeah.
until I kind of got the vibe he was bribing him. But then he's like, then he no, I just need your ID, and then he hears the kind of the whimper of the wife. He kind of looks back there, and I need you to step out of the car. And then I don't know, remember why, but he kind of leans his head in, and the other guy just pulls his head into the car door and then shoots him in the top of the head with his gun. And just, I love that point of view. It kind of gives the outside point of view of the
Hmm.
cop leaning in and the gun happening, and then like just a fountain of blood just goes
Yeah.
like into Steve's lap,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh. And he's driving that car forever after that, and it's like, dude, there's gotta be blood everywhere in this thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then he's like, you better go hide the body. Go pull the body aside. And he's like, okay. He grabs the cop, and he's such a little pussy. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, just fucking inch by inch. And he sees headlights up in the distance. He's like, oh, fuck. And then he's doing it, and the car pulls by and just like
Yeah.
stares at him,
Just
and the
holding the
cop,
fucking dead cop.
yeah, and he's just in the middle of the roadway. Like he first pulls by the guy with the cigarette, and he's like looking at them, and then looks at the other guys. And they keep going, they speed off, and he jumps in the driver's side and turns around, races, and follows them. And it's dark as shit. And then all of a sudden, like he doesn't see the taillights anymore. And as he pulls up there, it's like flipped and on the side of the road, lost control. And it's like a younger kid with the puffy red jacket, I think from the cover, right? And he's running out, just running empty
Yeah,
space,
the
just an empty
snow.
field
Yeah.
of snow. And he's just running, and he just kind of once in the back. And then he looks in the car, and there's like a chick stuck in there, upside
Yeah.
down.
She looked young too. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was like a teenager or like a young. Whoever that was looked really young. I was like,
Yeah, I think they're
damn.
supposed to be like some teenagers. Anyways, he shoots her. Um, what does he do? Go back. Anyways, and then, I can't remember what
I think.
exactly happens after.
I think when he shoots the person, the girl in the car, it like cuts to black, and then we're finally introduced to the best character in the movie, which is was it Marjorie or Marge, the
Mm-hmm.
cop who's gonna start investigating the murders. God, she's so good. All of those cops and her husband, all of that is just fantastic. All of their dialogue and how they, because it's funny, it's so jarring, but in a good way. Because for the movie so far, there's been a little comedy bits and some, accents that are kind of goofy. But once she's introduced, the movie just becomes, in my opinion, hilarious. Like we're so used to seeing these crime scenes with these serious FBI agents or cops and everything look into the thing. And this movie, it's like just a geeky little, oh hey there, how you doing? Got the coffee there? Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, and
just so
it's
silly.
Marge Gunderson, and like she gets the call when they're sleeping with her boring ass husband who paints, and I get the feeling it's like a stay at home husband, and she's like, "Oh, you don't say.
Oh
Oh,
geez.
sounds serious." She's getting the news of a triple homicide. She's like, "I gotta go in." He's like, "No, you can't do that. I'll make you some eggs." "No, I really gotta go." "No, you can't skip breakfast. You need breakfast in you."
Hmm.
And so she
So
fucking takes the time on a
cute.
triple homicide
Yeah.
to sit down. He makes eggs. "I really gotta go." And then yeah, she leaves. Uh, what did she come back in the house for? I can't
She
remember.
needed a jump because the car wouldn't start.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, she's pretty good and wholesome. And she goes out there, uh, triple homicide, huh? And she's putting it together. Okay, so I'm thinking the cops stopped him down the road. Maybe somebody saw it. They chased him down, and then they had to execution style these two guys. Oh, she's got a hand wound. I guess that's a defensive wound. Um, she's putting it all together, and the other cop's like, Yeah, I think they shot the cop before he was able to get their plate because he just wrote down the first three letters. So we're looking for a car, a brown Sierra with the first three letters of the plate DLR. And she's like, I think I have to disagree with your police
I don't think.
investigation there. I think it was a dealer plate, DLR. And he's like, oh, you
Oh.
don't say. Yeah, and so she finds out. She gets to the hotel because someone checked in with that car. I don't know why the hotel would know what car you have for maybe for a parking specific parking spot, I guess. But she finds that out. She finds that they made a call to the Indian guy who works as a mechanic at that Oldsmobile dealership that Macy is in charge of, owned by his dad. And she goes over there and talks to him. I might be skipping ahead. I don't remember, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
basically
I
about
think.
it. Yeah.
And then Jerry's like, "What the hell is that guy's name?" We'll call him the Indian guy, but he's used to a little, but he is good. Shep.
Shep.
Shep
Yeah.
Proudfoot. Yeah, the first time so we're looking for a Shep Proudfoot. What? That's his name.
Oh yeah, what's a Shep? Well, that's a name.
So he's like, "Where's Shep?" Oh, he's talking to the police. What? Talking to the police. Oh, and then I think he took off after he talked to the police. And yeah, he just left. It's like, oh, what the hell? And I think at this point, uh, Jerry gets a call from Buscemi, and he's telling me the plans fucking changed, Jerry. Okay, plans fucking changed. Shit happened. Blood was spilled, Jerry. Okay,
Mm. I'm not
now
going
we're
to
gonna need
debate you.
eighty
I'm not going to
thousand.
sit here and debate you. I want
Yeah,
$80,000.
and that's it. And yeah, he's like, oh, there's some funny. He says, well, why don't you go ask the three people in that town, huh? See how they're fucking doing. Okay. And then he has to bring his father in and tell him about it, and that's pretty funny when he's practicing the phone call.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
don't you know it's terrible? Wouldn't you? Oh, dag nabbit. And he has to bring the father in and come up with trying to convince him not to call the police. No, these guys are unsavory characters. We don't want to get the police involved. And then I think, what does he do? He raises the ransom from 80,000 to 1 million so he can take some.
Yeah. To a million. Yeah.
That's a big jump.
It's $1 million, Jerry.
It's like Jesus. And yeah, and the dad's like, no, I gotta go meet him with the money. No, you're not meeting him. If it's my money, I'm doing it. And then no, I really don't think so. And he's like, look, this ain't the damn car dealership, okay? I'm running the show. It's my money. It's my show. What's he gonna do? Not take the money because it's me? And so, weren't some other people killed in between this of the meeting?
I don't think so. No, I think it was just the three, and then yeah, later on, during the drop. But yeah, I don't think anybody else was killed in that. Because at that point, Steve Buscemi and his partner are hiding out in that random ass house by the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 or 3 minutes of him just hitting the TV.
Yeah. God damn it! Son of a bitch! We're fucking stuck out here.
That was pretty good. Um, yeah. So, and meanwhile, the cop Marge is kind of catching on, and she goes and talks to them at the dealership. And says, "Are you missing a car? It's a brown Sierra." And the person they called works here. You sell Sierras. It'd just be kind of a coincidence, wouldn't it? I mean, when's the last time you checked the inventory? Look, I answered your question. Okay, it's not my car. She's like, "Were you getting lippy with me?" He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm cooperating. I'm completely cooperating. You know what? I'm gonna go," because she wants him to get a hold of like um the father, right?
Yeah, she's looking at this point. The father is dead. The drop had already
Oh yeah, it's
happened.
after
So
the
yeah,
drop. Okay, so the drop. The father goes down there to the parking garage. Steve Buscemi. Who the fuck are you? Where's my daughter? What the fuck, you guys? This is fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god, I love it.
Give me the $1 million. No money until I get my daughter. Like, this is fucking horseshit.
Where the fuck is
Look,
Jerry?
yeah, you're gonna give me the money, and he refuses. He's like, God damn it! Look at, and he just shoots him in the stomach. Look, you happy now? Look what you made me do.
Yeah.
He's on the ground, and he had a gun too. So the dad pulls out the gun and shoots him, and it grazes his chin. Oh, son of a bitch! He's just bleeding, and then he goes over and shoots him like 5 times
Yeah,
and
unloads
kicks
on
him.
him.
And what does he call you? Fucking imbeciles!
He's just having like
Takes
the
him,
worst fucking week. I love it.
takes the money and leaves, and he gets to the gate and he's like, "Open the fucking gate!" He's all bleeding everywhere. Oh yeah, and like Jerry passes him on his way out, and he's like, it was a brown Sierra, and he goes up there and sees his father-in-law dead on the ground. I was like, oh shit, leaves. And then the gate's broken down. The guy inside the gate station's dead. Uh, and then at that point, that's when she goes to question him again, and she wants him to get a hold of the father-in-law because he's the owner. I was like, well, I want to talk to him, and he's like, yeah, I want to go count the cars right now. Darn it! You want me to come counting them? Jesus! He puts his scarf on, and then she sees him out there, and he's leaving. Oh,
Fleeing the
he's fleeing the investigation. Fleeing the investigation. Grabs the phone. How do you dial out on this?
Oh my god,
uh,
so good.
then she's oh yeah, Buscemi buries the money, takes 80,000 so he can give 40 to the other guy and keep 40 as the original plan was. He's go back and get the rest of the million. He goes back to the cabin, and his wife is dead on the ground. What happened to her? And she wouldn't stop screeching. What the fuck? All right, well, here's a $40,000. I got my 40,000. Now we're square. We need to get the hell out of here. No, we're not square. What about the Sierra?
Yeah.
Like the fucking Sierra? Yes, we split everything down the middle. He's like, we can't fuck. How do you split a fucking car, man? With a chainsaw? He's like, no, one of us will have to pay the other one half of the car. Fuck that, man. You see
I'm
this? I just got
shot.
shot in the fucking face. I picked up the money. I drove there. I've been up for 36 fucking hours, man. The car is square. I'm keeping the Sierra.
Just covered in blood. Oh my god.
And he's like, are we square? And he walks out to leave, and the guy comes out there with a fucking axe. Oh!
Ah! So
Hits
random.
him.
I love it.
And the Marjorie was, I don't remember where she's going.
Oh, another probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie. But there's a tip. This other cop who works in the area got a tip from some guys like shoveling snow or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I was at the bar and met some guy," and he starts talking about how Steve Buscemi was at the bar running his mouth, and so. But that whole scene's fucking hilarious. But they said that that guy said that there was somebody out by the lake that may have killed somebody, so she was just kind of following up on that lead, and then she sees the Sierra in the driveway. That's the car.
Oh, I see the car. I see the car. The Sierra. My Sierra. He's like, oh, just wait there. I'm going to call in some backup. And she goes out there, and she hears some noise and goes around the building. And it's the other kidnapper. And he's just shoving Steve Buscemi into a wood chipper. Just blood all on the outside of it. Like a big red trail. There's a foot sticking out. And he's like pushing on it.
It's like a log. He's like using
pushing on. And she comes up, hey, freeze! Freeze, you! Kind of looks at her and starts running. Just like the other guy, just a field of snow. He's just running out into the snow. And she just stands there for a second, kind of aims up, shoots. He gets hit in the leg. And then I think the next scene, they're in the cop car.
Yeah.
And he's, once again, not talking. And I don't remember what she says to him. There was some funny stuff.
It was like,
Oh, yeah,
oh yeah, it was. she was like, oh, that must have been your accomplice there in the wood chipper. And then I forget what something that must have been Jerry's wife or whatever. She's like trying to put the pieces
Yeah, that's a
together.
lot of people you kill for a little bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of money don't mean nothing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's more to life than a little bit of money.
Yeah.
She's all giving him a motherly, like, fucking lashing.
Hmm.
A nice lashing.
This wholesome person that just comes across this fucking person that's just vile. She doesn't under, I
Yeah.
think she even says I don't even understand it.
And then what's the last scene?
I love that
It's just the cop.
the two last scenes. Yeah, the two cops they're at the hotel. Like, Mr. Anderson, you let us in. Oh, hold on, just give me a moment. Come on, Mr. Anderson, will you please open the door? Just 1 second. And then they open it. It's fucking
Just a
Jerry.
minute.
His underwear, fucking trying to
They
run.
got him on the bed and they're doing something with his hands are behind his back, but they're still like messing with him and not getting him handcuffed. And he's
Uh,
and then yeah, then the last scene is them in bed again. Marge and her husband, and he entered a painting contest, and uh, so I was chosen for a 3-cent stamp. That's great. Yeah, but the neighbor got chosen for a 29-cent
yeah.
stamp. No one uses a 3-cent stamp. She's like, no, that's not true. When stamps get old, everyone uses the 3-center to, make up the difference. I suppose you're right. It's just very bland and boring.
Yeah.
And then that's it. The credits go. So yeah, I don't. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a No Country for Old Men kind of um, killer romp, and
Yeah.
it's really just like a kind of dark comedy. Um, I mean, I liked it, but I definitely wasn't blown away, and I don't get the. Um, I get good reviews, but I just don't get that freaking crazy hype of like choosing it as 100 best American films of all time. So I'm gonna give it in just a solid 8.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So I've seen this movie a few times. I enjoy it every time I watch it. Again, I don't think this is my favorite Coen Brothers. I do agree. I think No Country is better. I also like. I don't know why people don't talk about it as much. Maybe people don't like it as much as I did, but I like Inside Llewyn Davis. That one was pretty good. There's one called A Serious Man, which I thought was really good. These are all like movies. I think I think A Serious Man and Inside Llewyn Davis is post No Country. So I think it was like No Country, A Serious Man, then Inside Llewyn Davis. That trilogy of movies right there is not trilogy. That's not a trilogy, but those three movies are wonderful. And even their older stuff like Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing. That's all. Big Lebowski obviously is another big one that people like. Um, but yeah, it's really funny. I always forget how really funny it is. Just the characters are witty and silly, and it's so jarring with some of the content you're watching because it is violent and Steve Buscemi's character and these crimes are happening, but you got these like whimsical kind of weird North Dakota cops trying to solve it. It's pretty funny. I love William H. Macy. He's such a fucking slimy scumbag. There's so many scenes we didn't talk about where it's just him trying to just work, I guess, but he's like screwing people over and he's trying to get a loan from his wife's dad to do a parking lot or something, and they're like, "What's your finder's fee?" Like, "Oh no, I want the money." And they're like, "We're not a bank, Jerry."
I'm part of the. You want us to just give you $750,000? I'll pay it all back. Yeah, you'll pay it all back once you reap the rewards. Okay.
Yeah, but he's really good in it. Obviously, Frances McDormand kind of steals the show, in my opinion. I think she's amazing. There's all that weird scene where she
It didn't
reconnects
seem
with
like
like
an
her old lover or
Oscar-winning
something.
performance, though, to me. But I mean, it's really good. But
Yeah.
it's just kind of strange to me for that kind of a quirky little, quiet Minnesotan accent thing. You
Hmm.
know, especially around 1996 when there's a lot of crazy movies coming out. When I think of like Oscars, I think of like Last of the Mohicans type acting and
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis stuff. But yeah, so that surprised me that that was got an Oscar.
Yeah, it also I don't know who she was up against either. I had to look and see, but it could have
Mhm.
been just a softie or something. Um, but yeah, the cast is great. The writing is great. There's some really funny dialogue. But yeah, I really enjoy this movie. To me, I was coming in with like an 8.7. I think it's really strong. It's really rewatchable. Like I said, I watched this a few times, and it's entertaining every single time. It's not like a rip roaring good time, but it's funny enough. It's silly enough. The characters are great. So yeah, I think it's an 8.7 for me. It's really good.
Right on. 8.7 and 8.0. I'm glad I got it in.
Yeah,
Glad
totally.
I finally watched it. Interested in the show. I hear it's every episode deals with different characters involved with some kind of murder. So that sounds kind of interesting.
No,
No, that's not
different
how it goes.
seasons. Yeah, the
Oh,
seasons are
different.
different. Yeah, but the
Oh, I
episodes
did. I
are.
thought that I didn't even know they're past one season.
Yeah, they're on. I think they're about to start their fifth. I think the new one has John
Mm.
Hamm. I only watched the first two. The first two are fucking great. I was like, I remember when that was announced, I was so against it. I was like, do not do a Fargo show. Like, don't touch it. There's no need to do it. And
Is it really
then
similar to the movie, or is it just set in like this town?
it's pretty similar to the movie. It's not the same story. It's different story. Each season's a different story. It's not like a recreation of the movie, but it has like the tone and feel of it. Snowy, dry humor. I think it's a little more cinematic, but that's just because it's newer technologies advanced. I mean, not that
Yeah.
Fargo '96 isn't cinematic, but you know what I mean. It's modern, a modern take on Fargo. But no, the first two seasons are wonderful. I highly recommend them. They're very, very good. The first season has Billy Bob Thornton. I'm trying to think who the big star was in the second season, but I don't remember. But I don't know. I stopped after the first two seasons. I didn't watch the third or the fourth, but yeah, it's very good. Surprisingly good.
Yeah, right on. Everyone go check out the show, go check out the movie. Streaming on Max. 8.0, 8.7. As always, we appreciate hanging out with you. Thanks for coming by. As always, check us out on Spotify and Apple Music or iTunes. I have no idea what they call it. Never owned an Apple product. I had an iPod Nano once.
Mm.
Then I realized you had to have all this other infrastructure. You couldn't just put MP3s on. I was like, what? This is useless to me.
There's a
The only
paperweight.
time. Yeah, a little paperweight with a brick game on it.
Uh,
The brick game was fun. So anyways, appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. And until the next Vs, we say peace.
Peace.